Hello guys, my name is Dr. Varun and you are watching Chlorophyll classes only on YouTube. Well, this is another video for your 11th class topic because it's Tuesday and Tuesday is for the 11th class. And we're going to be starting with another chapter because till now we have completed what our second chapter of 11th class, that is biological classification as well, in 5 different videos. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out and you can find different topics in different videos. You can go for at a speed of 1.5x for a better and easy completion of the topics. Okay, but they are in the well detailed form which is needed. Okay, we even did certain question practice in the last class. Well, today's class we're gonna be heading towards another chapter, that is chapter number 3, plant kingdom. It also belongs to the, definitely plants means botany, right? Who is the father of botany? Theopatris. Okay, so you will remember it. I am pretty sure about it. Moving on to the today's lecture. So starting with our chapter, that is plant kingdom. Now we have discussed a lot of way through which we have classified it. So classifications won't be talking over here. We will be directly diving into the divisions of it. So if you remember from the chapter number 1, the living world, that is what it is, that the kingdom is the higher taxonomical hierarchy or category. Under it what come phylum or divisions. So in case of phylum, what is used for the animals, but for others, protista and fungi, or maybe the plants, their word is, the division is used as a word for next small, like next to the kingdom subclass. Okay, so this is what there are total 5 divisions. Okay, so we have to remember what 5 divisions are there. Let's just name them. And when I'm naming them, it is on the order of their phylogenetic evolution. When I'm saying the word phylogenetic evolution, what does it mean? It means that which comes earlier and which variety comes after it and which succeed it. Okay, so here you will remember this so that during the evolution, you remember that what I am talking about at that moment. Okay, so 5 according to their evolution, I'm gonna write it. The started with the first division is thallophyte. Of course, you know the better divisions already. Okay, in the biological classification chapter, we have already done it. What is the best way of dividing it? So embryophytes, embryophytes. Okay, so but here we're gonna directly jumping into it because that thing is already being covered up. So here I'm not marking it again and again. I'm just telling you that how we're gonna be studying it. Okay, thallophytes, that is what your algae. Then we have bryophytes. Then we have pteridophytes. Then we have gymnosperms. And the most advanced is angiosperms. Okay, so one by one we have to study each of them, and today's lecture it would be all about algae or thallophytes. Okay, so today's lecture is all about algae. Now what happened initially, like currently we have added a lot of it. Now when you will be saying that this word you have studied that there is what blue green algae word is being given to what cyanobacterias, nostoc, anabina when we are talking, right? Similarly, you will be like that, sir, in when we were studying about the second kingdom, that is about the protista, in them when we were studying about the dinoflagellates, we said that they are fire algae because they have the bioluminescence property. Okay, right? Those algae word is being added here and there, right? So what it is? Okay, actually algae is a group which earlier do not have a boundaries present. Okay, and algae is what which is present on the water and floating into it. So they has what they has a capacity. Okay, so like their broader look like, because how they look like, they have been named as like they are algae only, but they are not the algae. The real algae are the thallophytes, plants kingdoms, which has what, which will definitely be having what, your photosynthetic pigment present. Okay, so this thing is there. So algae are what, they are chlorophyll bearing. Algae are what, they are, the first point is chlorophyll bearing, has chlorophyll, have chlorophyll, have simple thalloid structure. And when I'm saying simple means what, they can even be as simple as unicellular organisms. Now here the major thing is, R.H. Whitaker never put the unicellular thing into this, because R.H. Whitaker considered them into protista. But over the course period of a time, when we point out that these cells has what similarities, then we started putting them into the plant kingdoms. Although we considered that earlier, like R.H. Whitaker considered that plant kingdom is strictly made up of what, made up of multicellular organisms. Okay, this was also one of the contradictory things which you have to remember. Okay, but later we found it. So unicellular algae, that simplest form of it. Thalloid structure means what, thalloid like this, thallus like means sac like structure. Okay, means no thing is there. For example, if I have to show you in a better way, so I have something like, for example, this, it's a leaf. So this is what, if imagine it, this is the whole structure of the plant. So this is what thallus like structure. Okay, so like I have certain these props over here in my place. So thallus, simple structure. They are what, very important thing is autotroph. They will make their own food, and this is the class which is 100% autotroph. Okay, means they will have chlorophyll present, they will make their own food. Okay, so they are what, autotrophic. Okay, and they are what, largely aquatic. Okay, and largely or mostly aquatic. Of course, certain varieties are there which are present on the moist soil or even on the organism. Big question. If that is so, what are those? Okay, so that we will learn over the pointers. Okay, next, so with that only, if we go with the next thing, that is habits. Okay, means habitat. So I told you what, they are what, they can be present on the moist stones, soil, wood. There is a type called as epizoic. Epizoic means above or on. Zoic word means animal. So there are certain varieties which are present on what, which are present on the organisms. Example, on sloth bear. Okay, means over the body present. Certain varieties are what, parasitic. Parasitic algae is also there. Example of parasitic algae is that Cephalorus. This Cephalorus is what, it is an algae which causes, which is present, or it infects what, tea. Okay, so tea plant. Okay, so it is what, it cause red rust on tea. So cephalus is one such example which is parasitic. This is not the only example. There are other examples like Habilis is also there, which is also parasitic on the other algae. On other algae, it acts like a parasite. Okay, so which means parasite means what? Those kind of organisms which obtained food from their host or from the other organisms on which they are present. Okay, moving to the next thing, they are someone which are present in the symbiotic relationship. We have already studied about it. Symbiotic relationship, or we called it what, it is a kind of a mutualism, means Both are benefited. Example what beta? Example lichens, where this algae is acting as what? Fungi, like associated with fungi. Okay, now that's the thing you have to remember about the habitat. Then it comes to size and forms. So on an average, I'm telling you one thing, and then I will go into the types, further classifications of it, where we will learn more. Okay, so first we're gonna be see the size. So it can range from unicellular to multicellular, long forms up to 100 meters, who go up to 100 meters. One such example you can keep it, unicellular examples, the famous one Chlamydomonas species. Okay, we will learn about it. Then we have Corella, we will learn about it, very important. Okay, so these two examples at least you should remember. Okay, then multicellular up to 100, filamentous. So this is what it is, a filamentous form. Example of 100 meter long, it's scalps, which is a type of a brown algae. Chlamydomonas cholera, this is what it is, a type of a green algae. Okay, so this you might have to remember. So if I have to say very particular about the filamentous form, so I have an example of what? I have an example of Eulothrix. I have an example of Spirogyra. And you have to remember one thing about it. The Eulothrix is called as what? It is called as sea wool, because it is stack-like in this form, its structure. Whereas Spirogyra is called as mermaid hairs, or it is also called as what? It is called as sea silk, because it is silky smooth like it. And since we know that why it must be called as mermaid hairs, because that silk hair, smooth silky hairs kind of a thing shampoos used to promote na. So it looks like silky hairs are there, but in who might have hairs? Definitely a beautiful mermaid. So that's why the names has been come over. Okay, so you have to remember this thing. Okay, next thing is, after size and form, is the very important one, that different pigments which are present into it. They have a pigments like the chlorophyll pigment is there. There is a presence of xanthophyll and carotene pigments are there. Okay, that is a wider. Of course, what are the types of these pigments are also different, which we're going to be writing with each of it. Okay, so if we have to write it, pigments in short, what are the pigments? There is chlorophyll, there is xanthophylls, and carotenoids. Different variety of it, which we're going to be studying and trying to remember it. Okay, the next thing, their store food. It could be starch, it could be protein granules also, it could be mannitol, which is a carbohydrate form, laminol. Okay, or yeah, that's all. Okay, so stored food could be different in the different varieties, so we're going to be writing it there only, where we will be studying about it. Now the next thing is the reproduction. Now their reproduction could be vegetative, asexual, and sexual. Vegetative, the common one is what? It is the fragmentation. So you might have studied about the Spirogyra. So they cuts and they form. Okay, before going on about their chloroplast, one question can be asked. Different varieties have in this seen different types of chloroplast. Maybe the chloroplast is horseshoe shape, which is seen in case of what? In case of Chlamydomonas. Maybe it is a disc shape like seen in Eulothrix. Maybe it is a, no, I told you that the horseshoe shape is Chlamydomonas. Okay, don't, like, I just made my mind that I said something else. Okay, and there might be a ribbon shape chloroplast present as in case of Spirogera. So these are different types of chloroplast present, which we're going to be, once we are doing it, there only we will be writing those pointers also. Okay, now next come the reproduction. So we will be doing what? That first one is what? There is vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction, that will be taken place by fragmentation. Example, Spirogyra. You might have studied this since so long. Okay, then there is what? There is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Now this asexual reproduction is being taken care with the help of spores. Now the spores could be motile or could be non-motile. Okay, so there could be spores formation that will occur. Now the spores could be of two types. When these spores will be formed? During unfavorable conditions. But there are certain cases where it is formed in favorable condition also in some of this. Okay, during unfavorable conditions mostly. Just remember it. So I am saying what? They are of two types. What could be the possibly two types of it? Number one, there could be zoospores, not the zygospores, sorry. First, there could be what? Zoospores. And second, there could be what? Zygospores. Sorry, aplanospores. It could be aconites. Where we have studied aconites, beta? Aconites we might have studied in the structure of your when we are studying about the nostoc. Okay, so aconites are the spores. Okay, wait a second, I think here we have a little, wait, my sweat was there on the screen. Aconites, or there might be hygnospores. These are different types of spores only. Okay, now this zoospores, what is the difference in it? Zoo means animal, animal means motile, so they are what? They are motile spores, have flagella present, whereas these are non-motile spores. Non-motile spores means do not contain any flagella or cilia or anything. Okay, so different types of spores are there, which all make it, we will do it later on. Okay, and the third thing is the sexual reproduction. Now when the sexual reproduction occur, there is a formation of what? Gametes. Now here the important thing is to know about what kind of gametes are there. So you remember now, we studied about in the fungi and in the protista that there can be three different types of gametes: isogametes, anisogametes, and oogametes. So those three options are valid over here. So what are the options in sexual reproduction? It could be isogametes, anisogametes, anisogametes, and oogametes. Isogametes means both look similar, anisogametes means both look dissimilar, and oogametes means smaller motile would be male, larger non-motile would be female. Now you have to remember that there is mostly the species of Chlamydomonas shows an isogametes, but anisogametes and oogametes also being shown by a few of the varieties or the species of what? Of your Chlamydomonas. So means what? Chlamydomonas species, like Chlamydomonas genus altogether, whatsoever species it is having, they will show what? They will show you the sexual reproduction where all the types of gametes would be there. But one species will have only one type of it. Like for example, if I'm writing it down, then examples is here written. Isogametes example is Chlamydomonas deberens. Oh, Chlamydomonas deberens. So this is one such species is having isogametes. Then an isogamete is Chlamydomonas browni. And similar, there is a Chlamydomonas species which show oogametes also. Okay, means what? That there is, so all like this Chlamydomonas genus or Chlamydomonas organisms can show any type of sexual reproduction. Okay, now this thing, if you remember, if other examples we have to take, that is what? Isogametes. These gametes are seen in case of what? Spirogyrols. Okay, they are seen in case of urethrics also, but I am writing this one only. And isogametes is seen in case of, other example is Eudornia, and this another species is Volvox and Ficus. So these you have to remember, they can be asked to you. Clear? With this, the gametes things are over. Okay, next, their ecological importance we're going to be seeing one by one once we are going into the different algae. Okay, over there only we will try to learn most of them from there. Okay, now if we are talking about the sexual reproductions, we know that for sexual reproductions to take place there should be sexual organs present. Okay, so here comes a very interesting thing, that sexual organs, what could be it? There would be a male sex organ and there would be a female sex organ. Now the male sex organ, we give a certain name to it. What is the name of the male sex organ? Is called as antheridium. Do you think this word resembling something from anther? And anther is what? In 10th class, when you might be studying about the reproduction in organisms topic, over there in the plant topic, you might have studied that the male reproductive structure is called as what? Stamen. Stamen has two parts, filament and anther. So here I will remember it like that. In plants, the male sex organ in case of algae is called as antheridium. And what does female sex organ called as? Oogonium. Oogonium. Okay, so these two words you have to remember. Now these, in case of fungi, sorry, in case of algae, these are what? These are unicellular and non-jacketed. Non-jacketed or jacketless means what? Jacketless means what? That if I'm wearing a jacket on top of it, if I'm not wearing it, this is what? Opened. I have no covering. Same thing all like this. These sex organs are what? Single cell. For example, this is a single cell and it is not even having any covering to it. Jacketless. But one exception is there. Okay, so there is an exception to this is there. So that we have to remember. So there is a exception to this thing, that they are unicellular and non-jacketed. So means that is what? It would be multicellular and it will be what? Jacketed. Okay, exception to this is seen in Cara. Cara is what? It is stonewort algae. In this algae, six organs are multicellular and jacketed. So it appears like this, what? Like this structure. Okay, imagine that this is what? This is the plant body. Okay, so the main axis is there and around it the structure is there. So this is what your cara, and in this we have to remember that how the structure looks like. So if this is one such petal, so male and female structure would be present on it. So first I am making a male structure. It is present something like this. So it is covered. So this blue color is the jacketed thing. Oh God, jacketed thing. So this is what? This is your male sex organ, and we have a name for it. Since it is circle, we call it globule. So this male structure is called as globule. Okay, similar, there would be a female structure. Imagine that this is the female structure, and this female structure is also jacketed. Okay, so this is what? This is the female sex organ, and it will also have a name. The name of this is what? Nucell. So will you remember this about the cara? This becomes very important, that the sex organ is different. That's why the name is also given to it. So antheridium in case of cara is called as what? Globule. Oogonium in case of cara is called as what? Nucells. Clear? This is about the sexual reproduction, whatever I want to tell you about this topic. Now let's just go into the divisions. Now how further it is being divided. Okay, so you know that what happened. There is kingdom, there is what? Division, there is what? Class. So the class division is based on certain factors. What are those factors? Those factors are on the basis of lot of things, like what kind of cell wall they have, what kind of chlorophyll pigments they have, what kind of sexual reproduction they have. So on lot of things there is a divisions of the further category into three classes. What are those classes? So that's gonna be writing it up on the basis of type of reproduction, chlorophyll pigments or photosynthetic pigments, algae is classified into three different classes. So what are the classes? We have chlorophyceae, we have phaeophyceae, we have rhodophyceae. Now this chloro, what is from the green? So it is a green color algae. So green algae. This phaeophyceae is for the brown color. Pheo is for the brown, that is a brown algae. And rhodo is for the red color, so it is what? Red algae. And all of this color is because of the pigments present inside it. So we're going to be learning that also. Moving on to one by one. First we're going to be studying about the chlorophyceae. Okay, so starting with the first one, that is chlorophyceae. or green algae. So same thing, the way we were dealing with the all overall, we're gonna be deal with this also. Okay, so first thing is would be what? First thing would be that the members are what? They are green algae. Green algae. So where it is present? Habitat. When it comes to habitat, it is cosmopolitan in nature. Means it is present in wide variety of habitats. Okay, so it is what? It is cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan means present at wide variety of habitat. Okay, next thing is its size and form. Okay, size and form. So wide variety. So there is what? There is a unicellular one. Now earlier these unicellular ones are put into what? Protista in the R.H. Whitaker kingdom. But later on we found out their relationships, that this belongs to what? With the higher plant kind of structure. So we put it in the plant kingdoms. So plant kingdom currently is not strictly what? Multicellular. Okay, so I told you. So earlier these were put into kingdom protesta by R.H. Whitaker. Okay, so unicellular one examples one by one we will be doing. So number one example is Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas. So Chlamydomonas is what? Unicellular, but it is what? Motile. Its species, like different species, shows all kind of gamete formation. Okay, now it's chloroplast. Chloroplast is horseshoe shaped. Okay, so it is how it looks like. So let's just make its diagram like this. Okay, so there is what? These two flagella from it. This is what? It's chloroplast. This is what? Flagella. Okay, there is what? Stored food present in the form of what? Prienoid. Other things are also present. Okay, so this thing, basic ideology I have given to you. Okay, now after Chlamydomonas, the next example of this is what? Corolla. Very important one. Now this corolla is what? It is also unicellular. Okay, so it is also unicellular. Okay, green algae. And the last one is what? This on the corolla only the experiments were done for the photosynthesis. One different cycles are there which will be learned later on. Just now remember that certain photosynthetic reactions like the Kelvin cycles were done on this by the Kelvin. Okay, so it is being used in the what? Used in your lot of experiments used by Kelvin to find out Kelvin cycle. Okay, Just remember it. And it is something related to photosynthesis. Once we will do the photosynthesis in higher plant, you will remember it, or we will recall it. Okay. And the last one is the umbrella algae. Umbrella algae is why? Because it is a unicellular, but it is the largest unicellular organism in a plant kingdom. Acetobularia. Okay, so it is what? Acetobularia. It is what? It is the umbrella algae. Its diameter is close to 10 centimeter. Okay, and it is largest unicellular cell or the organism of plant kingdom. Okay, so this you have to remember about the unicellular. Unicellular is not the only thing. Multicellular conditions where they are living in the form of colonies are there. Means individual they are being there, but they are living together in a colonies like human lives in a colony. Okay, so the next thing comes in the form of colonial associations. And when I'm saying colonial associations, they can even move. Okay, so colony can move. Okay, so it is seen by what? By the volvox. So example is volvox. Okay, so individual of this is there. Outside they are making a structure. Within them there is a what? There is a presence of a daughter colonies, means smaller colonies, which will be the new colonies, which will be joined together later on, right? So they are like this colonies present. Okay, so volvox is there, whose diagram is given in your NCRT also. Okay, moving on to the next one. Except this, there is what? There is a filamentous form also present. So next is filamentous. You know that filamentous is what? Long thread like structure. Okay, by 10th class you know that. So example is seen in case of what? Eulothrix and Spirogyra. Okay, you know that what is their common name also. Okay, we have already discussed. And the last is multicellular structure, multicellular thallus like structure. So this thing is seen in case of vulva. So it is what? Leaf like of structure, like this. This is the structure present. Okay, so this thing you have to remember. If we have to understand basic, then they do not have any true tissue system present, means they do not have any proper stem, leaf or roots present. Maybe like kind of a structure is there. That's why we call it thallus. No organization is there and differentiation between this is doing what part and what part. They can't even have their own vascular bundles. Okay, vascular bundle means xylem and phloem kind of arrangements. We will learn slowly, okay, about it. This is about that association, like how they look like, what are their types. Moving on to the next thing, that would be what? That their chloroplast could be of different types. Okay, so we have to remember that what is their photosynthetic pigments. Okay, so we have done what? Habitat, size and form, then photosynthetic pigment. Photosynthetic pigments. Okay, now the photosynthetic pigment in case of them is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. So these are what? The chlorophyll pigments, like our chlorophyll classes. Then there is what? There is carotene. They have what? Beta carotene. Then we have xanthophylls. And here comes the major part. their xanthophylls gives what? Yellow color. Now these all things which we have seen over here, they are giving what? It is giving us a same kind of a feature which is present in the plants, which is present in case of what? In case of higher plants. Means it gives us an idea that these are more closely linked to the higher plants. So means because of this and certain other reasons, they are what? They are closely associated with what? The higher plants. Means evolutionary, they are more closer. Okay. So these pigments are similar to higher plant pigments. Hence, they are closely associated phylogenetically, means evolutionary. Okay, phylogenetically to higher plants. Higher plant means what? Gymnosperms, angiosperms. Okay, to higher plants. This is the photosynthetic pigments it have. Then even the stored food material is what? Starch, which is similar to what? The higher plants. Okay, so the next point is stored food. Stored food is in the form of what? Starch. And if proteins, then there is what? Prienoid present. P for protein, P for prianite. Not a tough thing to remember. You can easily remember it. Okay. Now there might be presence of, also we have starch is what? Carbohydrates. Proteins, prianoid form. There might be oil droplets also. So means fats deposition is also there. Also oil droplets. Similar like the adult ones. Sorry, higher plants. Okay. Now their cell wall, the next thing. Cell wall. Now their cell wall on the outer made up of pectin and inner made up of cellulose, and this is also very much with similar to the higher plants. So you have to remember this. Now the next thing is the life cycle. Now generally most of the algae is what? It is haploid. Okay, haplontic life cycle is there. Okay, if you remember the protista, you might know it. If not, also don't worry, we're gonna be studying about the life cycles, which is a very important topic, because this year 2 questions comes on the basis of life cycle in the paper. So we're gonna be putting those things more importance, because life cycle has been deleted from the syllabus but still coming up, means that the text which is being there not in the form of adding up, it is also the part of it, but we will do it at the end. Here we will just remember it. The life cycle of chlorophyce members are what? Haplontic. What it is, how it is working, we will do later on. Okay, and when they do the sexual reproductions, they will make what? They will make gametes. Those gametes could be what? I told you that algae can make anisogametes, isogametes or oogametes. Okay, now here comes what? Your sexual reproductions. So sexual reproduction we're going to be studying, or before sexual reproduction, let's just write reproduction. So you know that there might be what? Fragmentation by the spirogyra. You know that, right? So there is vegetative reproduction. That is what? Fragmentation by spirogyra. There is what? Asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means favorable conditions and unfavorable conditions. There is a formation of what? Spores. So what is it? Spores formation. Okay, after that we have what we have like wherever the spores would be present, how it will present, we will understand it. Okay, next is what, okay, we will do it here only, don't worry. So I told you that if you remember that from the biological classification, you know that spores would be present inside the structure, whatever the structure it is present, and whatever there is motile or amotile, that would be called it like that way. Okay, so imagine that if it is like this chlamydomonas, and here what, multiple such structure is present. So these are what, these are baby chlamydomonas. So these are what, zoospores. Zoospores means motile, and this whole big cell is working like what, it working like a bag of it. So this whole structure will be called as what, zoosporangium. Means sporangium means what, bag of what, zoospores. Okay, so this thing you have to remember. Will you remember it? Okay, if you have gone through the older classes, you might remember this fact. If not, then remember it from here. Okay, now if we comes to the sexual reproduction, that is what, sexual reproduction, I told you what, they will make what, gametes. In sexual reproduction only gametes will form. Now if the gametes are being formed, now the question is whether it will be motile or non-motile. The gametes would be motile. You have to remember, this is the facts. So gametes are what, they are motile. Okay, if motile means what, flagella present. Okay, why it is motile? Because flagella present. Flagella present. Now the question is how many and what its type. So there are what, there might be 2 to 8 in number. They are present what, apically, and they will what, equal in size. Apically position means what, if this is your algae and this is the apex, so it might be like this 2. So this is one such example. Okay, so this is the sexual reproductions, and you know that the gametes could be what, isogametes, anisogametes, and oogametes. I hope you remember the type IAO. Okay, last is the examples. So the examples we have already studied a lot in the initial also. Here we're going to be writing few more. That is what you remember, chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas is there. There is what, volvox, which is a colonial form. There is what, Eulothrix, which is what, sea wool. There is Spirogyra, which is what, mermaid hairs or the sea silk. And there is one more, that is what, your Cara, which is stonewort. So we have studied all of it. Moving up to the next thing, that is the brown algae. Okay, without wasting any time, into the brown algae. So brown, we using the word what, Phaeophyceae. So we are studying about a Phaeophyceae family. Okay, so in Phaeophyceae family, all of them are what, brown algae. So same way we're gonna be studying that where they are present. Okay, so they are primarily present in what, marine habitat. Okay, so they are habitat. The first thing is the habitat. So habitat wise, they are marine. Okay, now the next thing you have to, primarily there might be certain species which might be what, present in the fresh water also. Okay, but very less of them are there. Okay, next thing is that their size and form, in them they form a lot of variations. Shows variations. So shows variation means, do they have unicellular? No, they don't have any unicellular. Unicellular are only and only present in what, in your chlorophyceae. So shows variations. Okay, I forgot to tell you about the examples, more topic of it, that we will do it in the end, that is economic importance. Okay, so it shows variations in body form. What could be the variations? Like it could be simple branched structure. It could be simple branch structure. or it could be what? It could be a filamentous structure. So example filamentous is ectocarpus. Ectocarpus. And it could be what? It could be profused branch. Profused branch means long structure, like what? Kelps. Now kelps, you know that it can run into 100 meters of height also. The next thing is the pigments. The pigments that is present in them is what? It has chlorophyll pigment. But which type of chlorophyll? That is chlorophyll A and C. Okay, so that is chlorophyll A and C. Then there is what? There is the presence of carotenoids, normally the beta carotens. What it is? Beta carotene. Then there is what? Xanthophylls. Now the xanthophyll they have, it is what? Fucoxanthin. And this fucoxanthin gives what? It gives the brown color. And it is in high amount. That's why it is called as what? Brown algae, because of its look like it is coming. Next is its stored food material. Okay, so it is stored food material. Now it is what? It is a derived form of carbohydrates. Normally you know that starch is what? A carbohydrates. We're gonna learn about them more in the biomolecules, okay, where you will understand much better these things. For now, derived means that from a basic carbohydrates they have gone into what? They have gone into a more variety form of it. Okay, so this is what? Derived type of carbohydrates. So what are they? One is mannitol. Over there I will make you understand that how the mannitol is being formed. So derived food form is what? Mannitol and laminarian. So these are the two derived form of it. Again, the next thing is cell wall. Cell wall is made up of what? Cellulose plus algin. Algin is what? Algin is a hydrocolloid, or it's a kind of a phycocolloids. So algin is what? It is a hydrocolloid or phycocolloid. Phycocolloid, or it is also being by what? Mucilaginous sheet. Okay, so it provides what? Mucilaginous sheet. So means basically it is doing what? Mucilaginous sheet is somewhat helping the plant to sustain in a higher salt conditions, in the watery conditions. Okay, so this thing is what? It is protecting about the mucilage. Mucilage we have talked about before also, so I'm not going deeper into it. Now this algin which is present, it is highly useful for us. How it is useful? Because the algin that is being used here, it is being used for what? It is used for making jellies. It is used for acting like a polishing agent also. So it is very useful. So it is what? Useful as key ingredient of jellies, ice creams, polishing creams. So this is how the algin is important. Later on we will study more about it. Okay, now next thing about them would be what? That what we have studied. We have studied everything. Their body type. If we have to find out that how their body looks like, so their body has what? Their body has certain divisions present. So they have what? They do not have any root, stem or leaf like of thing, but similar kind of structure is there. So once they have what? Hold fast. Hold fast means holding something. So if, for example, imagine that this my hand, this is what? It is a brown algae. So what will happen? It is what? It is attached to the substratum. So this part is called as hold fast. Then this area, can you see that from this bigger part is attached? So this part is called as what? It is called as our stalk structure, but here we call it stipe. Okay, so hold fast is attaching it to the substratum. Substratum means what? Surface. Okay, so any surface is called as substratum. So it attached to it. This is the stipe, okay, which is like a stalk of any grape or anything, okay. And this is what font or lamina, okay, which means what, where the photosynthetic activity is being done, okay. So the plant body has a certain look like. So the plant body, okay, here, plant body is divided as what, hold fast, which attaches to substratum, then we have stipe, which is a stalk like structure, and we have frond or what, frond or lamina, which is what, leaf like photosynthetic structure, leaf like. So it looks like what, small tree, okay, I remember it like small tree, photosynthetic structure. Now the next thing that we have to study is what, its type of what we say that it's reproduction, okay. So the next thing is a reproduction in it. Now vegetative reproduction. So vegetative reproduction is by what, it is what, fragmentation only. Then asexual reproduction by the help of what, by the help of spores. These spores are what, biflagellated. So flagella there means zoospores, okay. And these spores are what, these spores are pear shaped, and they have what, unequal flagella, okay. So pear shaped means what, like this, unequal flagella means like this, okay. So like this is what they looks like. Sexual reproduction, so it has all the three type of gametes presents. Normally there is what, the union takes place within the oogonium. Oogonium is what, when the species are oogamous, okay. So if oogamous species are there, fusion occur in within the oogonium, okay. Oogonium is what, it is a female sex structure, so means they can occur a external fertilization or internal fertilization. I hope you know that. So fusion of gamete means what, fusion means fertilization, where it is taking place inside the body of a female or outside, that thing is there, okay. Now here you have to remember that there, how these gametes look like, okay, means if oogamous species are there, means there will be what, fertile structures. So gametes are motile, means there is a flagella present. So how they are look like, they are pear shaped gametes, okay. So these gametes are also what, same like their spores, their gamete is also what, pear shaped. So it is what, pear shaped, and it bears two lateral flagellas, two laterally attached. Lateral means like if this is my main part, this is the lateral, sideway, okay. So lateral is what, sideway, laterally attached flagella, okay, present. So this thing is the important one. So last thing about this is what, their examples, okay. So what are the examples of them? So the first example is ectocarpus, then we have dictyota, then we have laminaria, then we have sargassum, and then we have ficus. These are the 5 examples, and of course kelps is also there. So kelps also I'm writing it here. Kelps, you have to remember it. With this, your second class, that is Phycophyceae, brown algae, is over. Next come what? Next come your last, that is Rhodophyceae. So last is Rhodophyceae. So Rhodophyceae is what? Red algae. Simplest. R for rod, R for red. Red algae. So Rhodophyceae, red algae. Starting with the first thing, its habitat. All of them are what? Marine, except one variety whose name is not given to you in your NCRT, but just remember that it is there. Okay, so they are habitat number 1. So in habitat, remember they are what? They are marine, except Batrachospermum. It is what? It is freshwater. One more thing about this one is there, which is also the exception. That is that this variety only is not red in color. Okay, so it is what? Blue green in color, because it has the blue color, cyanin color pigment more in abundance. Okay, next thing you have to remember, that is about that how they are like after habitat. The next thing is about their pigment. Like one thing that you have to remember, that is what? It is what? It is the predominantly the primitive algae. Okay, so it is what? A primitive algae, and very limited species are present in it. Not much is there in your syllabus. Okay, now the next thing is what? Since they are what? Red in color, they are present at the deeper areas of your ocean. And if they are present in the deeper areas of the ocean, means that they absorb the light which go deeper. Okay, which penetrate deeper. Okay, and they appears red because they absorb violet light a lot. Okay, so they are what? They are present at the deeper regions of the water. Okay, so pigments, the next thing which we have to remember about it, the pigments that are present is what? It has chlorophyll A and D pigment present. It has carotenoids present, so carotene present. It has phycobillion present. It don't have xanthophylls. It has phycobillions, which are what? There are 2 different types. One is R phycoerythrin. Erythrin word is coming from erythro. Erythro word itself means red. So means this give what? The red color. Whereas another pigment in some of them that is present is phycocyanin. Phycocyanin means cyanin word itself is the blue color. So these 2 different colors are there. Now here what happened with these pigments, certain thing happens. I said that it is present at the deeper in the concentrated areas of the oceans. So here happens what? There happens a Brodikov effects. What is Brodikov effects? That as you keep on going deeper, and you will find that different shades of the red color algae would be present. More the deeper would be the red color, more the above the blue color. So if I am making a ocean, this is the ocean if I'm making, and this is the different depth of it, then on the above there will be what? There will be presence of ferrocyanin kind of bacteria. So means superficial layer, superficial, okay, superficial layers contains what? Phycocyanin pigments. Phycocyanin pigment more. As we keep on going deeper, the red color and the more darker shades of the red color would be there. Can you see this? So what happened? Deeper, there will be what? Phycoerythrin. More. Going from up to down. Okay. So this thing you have to remember. Okay. Next thing is what? That its structure. Body structure is what? They are what? Thallus-like. Okay. So body form. The next thing is the body form. They are what? First of all of them are multicellular, except unicellular. One such example is what? Polysophonia. Wait a second. Polysophonia is not in. Okay, there's a one example which is not unicellular, which I'm not recognizing, but there is exception is there, except one which I don't remember right now. I will put it in the comment section. I will pin it up. Okay, so multicellular form is there, and their body is what? Body is thallus-like. Body is thallus-like. Okay, complex organization is there. Then there's stored food material. Stored food is in the form of what? Floridian starch. Now this Floridian starch is what? It starch. It is what? It is a complex amylopectin and glycogen. Amylopectin is what? Amylopectin is a type of a starch. It is a type of starch. We will learn it later. Amylopectin and glycogen. Glycogen is what? Stored food in animals. So it is like that. Next comes their reproduction. When it comes to reproduction, if there is what? First of all, their gametes are, or their any structure, they are non-motile. So I want to just put it for that. No motile stage observed. Means not even in the spores they will be motile. Not the spores, nor the your gametes would be for that your motile. Vegetative reproduction, by fragmentation it can occur. Asexual reproduction, it takes by the non-motile spores. So non-motile spores. Non-motile spores, example what? Like your aplanospores. And sexual reproduction would be by what? It will be what? It could be a non-motile spores only. So non-motile gametes. Non-motile gametes. And mostly it is what? Oogametes. Okay, and that's the thing. Next, that thing that you have to do is what? Next thing is that it's example. The examples for them are what? Polysophonia. We have Porphyra. We have Glaciaria. And we have Gelidium. Now this Glaciaria and Gelidium, they make an important component called as agar, which help in what? For making jellies, ice creams and those things. Similarly, there is a one such variety that you can remember, that is Chondrus crispus. This is one name. It forms what? It releases carrageen. This compound help in what? You know, the capsules are there, medicines which are there. So it help in making those medicines. Okay, so for that medicines, that is there. Okay, that covering of it, medicine kerosene is there. Let's just see that what kind of life cycle they have. So here what happened, the all of them has what? A diplontic life cycle, but Betarsosperm is spermium has what? Haplontic life cycle. So now there is a wide variety that what kind of life cycles they have. So they have a different types of life cycle. I am telling you what the haplontic life cycle. Rest of the life cycle we will be doing a single segment in the last topic of this chapter. For that you have to remember it. For now I am doing a basic life cycle of it. Okay, so life cycle of algae, although I should have told you earlier, but now I am telling you. Okay, and which type of algae? Haplontic algae, although we will do it again. So haplontic life cycle means that I told you that there is a haploid cell or diploid cell. So haplontic life cycle means haploid cell, their generation means half of the centimeter. So I'm going to writing it with n only. So imagine that this is one algae. Okay, we are going to make the Chlamydomonas. Okay, Chlamydomonas is single cell algae. So this is the Chlamydomonas. So it has what? Haplontic, so means n. So this is adult. Now what will happen when it has to make the gametes? It will what? It will make gametes. Now how it will make the gametes? Gametes are always haploid. So it has to make what? Similar n kind of a thing. And how it will do it? With the help of mitosis. Now similarly, another such gamete from another partner will come. So this is the gamete here. So I am telling you what? I told you that they will make what? Sex organ. Now here the sex organ would be what? If this is the male and this is the female. So they will have a sex organ whose name would be what? Male will call as antheridium part, in which only gametes will make, no? The male part, antheridium. And the female, where? Oogonium. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you, that in case of rhodophysi, just taking you back over here only, in their sexual reproduction, the rhodophysi sexual organs names are little different. It's not antheridium and oogonium. So the male sex organ and the female sex organ are different. The female is called as caprogonium, whereas male is called as spermatanium, and it makes a non-motile gamete called as spermatia. Okay, just remember this. Coming back to the life cycle. So the gametes are made. Now gametes would do what? There will be a fusion of gamete, means fertilization. Now if the fertilization will happen, what will happen? This will be what? N plus N. That is the thing that is formed is what? Zygote, which is what? 2N. Since here the problem occurs. If you see the main body, because zygote is what? It will form this, right? After fertilization, when the zygote form, it forms to the adult form, right? But this adult form has 2N, it has N. Means it is not same ploidy level. So we have to reduce the ploidy level. So here what will happen? If you remember the last lecture, if not, then go back, see those video again. When it will go here, it will do what? It will do meiosis. Meiosis is what? The reductional division, so that the ploidy level again comes back to what? To the N. And how many of them will form? 4 of them will form. They will grow into the adult one. This is the life cycle of haplontic ones. Okay, if you don't get it, don't worry, we're gonna be again going with it. Now let's just quickly go through the economical importance of this. Economical importance of algae. Although we have discussed almost everything, here we're gonna be just revising the important one. Number 1 is the chlorella. Now chlorella is what? It is a high protein source, so people eat it. Okay, and after spirulina is what? It is a blue green algae. This is being highly consumed for high amount of proteins, so it is a superfood. So it is what? A superfood due to high amount of protein after what? Spirulina, which is what? Blue green algae. Now this is what? It is also used by the space astronaut as a food and the resource for the oxygen formation in the space station. So in the space station, by astronauts for food supplements plus oxygen, it is being used up. More to this, any other examples? One second, I also forgot the things. At least half of the carbon dioxide is fixed by them. Okay, so they are very useful to us. That's it. Okay, then we have certain species. There are other species also which act as food, like sargassum, porphyris, used as food supplement. Okay, then the next thing is algin. Algin is what? Sorry, algin. Sorry, algin. Algin, which is what? It is a hydrocolloid, phycocolloid obtained from the brown algae. Okay, from brown algae. You know that we use for make the as a agent, binding agent in case of ice creams and all those things. Okay, this we have already studied. Then we have even studied the carrageen. I have told you it is obtained from what? It is obtained from Crondus crispus, which is a red algae which help in making what? Jellies and all those things. Okay, so these things are there. Okay, so this thing you have to remember. And then there is what? Agar. So which is what? Also used for it. So this is what? Your kerosene obtained from chondrus, that is what? Red algae, chondrus crispus. Whereas brown algae is obtained from brown algae. The name of the brown algae that is obtaining is what? Okay, this is just brown algae. This agar is from the your Gelidium and Graciolia. So these are certain economical important points of it. With this topic algae is over. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, give me a like. If you didn't understand something, text me in the comment section and I will help you out. If anything I can do which can enhance my teaching, just let me know in the comment section. I am reading all the comments whichever you gave, and accordingly I make my next videos also. And moving on to the next thing, if you haven't shared it with your friends, please share it. It motivates me a lot when the new people come and see. There are certain people who are very constant with me and there are certain people who are not. If not, then please be constant on this channel, because a lot of things would be coming up. A lot of those who can't go to the higher studies from Akash, Ellen, or those places, all the content is being provided over here on this channel. That's too free. Okay, well, that's all for this video. Thank you.